Hi, welcome back. My name is Soli. I am a 20, probably by the time this video comes out, I'll be 22. So I'm a 22-year-old homemaker. I'm a wife, a mother, and I love to talk about homemaking and traditional values. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. Today, I have a Q&A for you all. I asked on Instagram. You can follow me at Solioli. If you like my content here, you'll definitely like my Instagram. That being said, I'm going to read you these questions. The first question: have you always wanted to be a homemaker? And the answer to that is no. I did not even really know what a homemaker was until I was older, at least a teenager. I wanted to be a teacher at some point. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a midwife. I wanted to do like medical missions and be a midwife in like Africa somewhere. One of my dream jobs, this would have been the most perfect scenario. I wanted to be a singer and also have the flexibility to be with my kids a lot. And so if you know the band Johnny Swim, I wanted to be like the wife of that duo, where she like takes her kids around. Like there's this picture of her breastfeeding like as she's recording vocals. Like that's what I wanted to do, but that was way too much. Ain't nobody got time for that. When did you first discover the Weston A. Price way of eating? At the beginning of our marriage, so almost 2 years ago at this point. If you don't know, the Weston A. Price is focused on traditional eating and traditional principles, and they have like 11 principles that are based off of studying different ancient civilizations around the world and the ways that they ate, and then adapting those principles into the way that you eat. My favorite cookbook. I don't really use cookbooks that much. I do have Nourishing Traditions, which is a cookbook by the Weston A. Price Foundation, their president. That's a really awesome book. I also just use Pinterest a lot. I follow Farmhouse on Boone's recipes a lot, and those are like my main sources. And then I just also be making up junk. Advice for people wanting to begin to eat more whole but don't know where to start. My advice would be to read the ingredients in the stuff that you are buying. This is like so life-changing. You cannot take anything at face value. You have to actually turn it around and look at what they're putting in it. It can say organic olive oil mayo, and you turn to the back and the first ingredient in it is soybean oil, which is something that you should definitely avoid. Look at the ingredients of what you're getting. If you don't have any clue what something is, if you can't pronounce the word, if it's a gum, if it's an industrial seed oil, if it's natural flavors, high fructose corn syrup, all those types of things that aren't whole foods, you need to avoid them at all costs. For the most part, avoid them. And yeah, that's the best place to start. Any advice for young married couples? Relax. Like, don't take everything so seriously. This is mostly for the wife, because I'm not really gonna be giving advice to the man. That's totally different advice. But for the wife, it would just be relax and do what God has called you to do, which is to, to submit and to respect your husband and to be the keeper of your home. Come here, sleepyhead. So do those things and your marriage will be so peaceful. You will not argue nearly as much as you would if you are always nagging, always trying to be right, always thinking you know best, always trying to boss him around and be his mother. Okay, the next question. Will you homeschool? Yes, we will homeschool. Thoughts on birth control. I actually just put a video out about this. So it'll be up here. The little eye thing, you can find it there. And it's about why I never have taken birth control ever, not even one single time. Can you do cooking videos? This is actually a question from my cousin. Okay, can you do cooking videos with raw milk and cream, and AKA videos of you cooking from scratch? Yes, people are very, very curious, and this is something that I love talking about, and I love talking about food and traditional cooking, nutrient-dense cooking. So definitely will be doing lots of videos. What was the hardest thing getting married young? So there wasn't like one specific thing that was the hardest, but it's just a learning curve, and you have to really just learn from your mistakes and really work on not being a repeat offender and like keeping on doing the same exact things that cause arguments and that cause friction between you two, and allowing the Holy Spirit to change your heart when those things do happen. I think like at Christmas time, Andre's probably gonna laugh, but that was a little hard because I was so used to like having all these like family traditions and just like doing the same thing, and then having to like totally change everything from what I knew and from what I was used to. That was a little hard. Just things like that, just that transition, even though I literally live 3 minutes away from my childhood home, literally in the same zip code, but still. Advice for someone with a homemaking heart but works to pay student debt off. I would want to know like whether she's married or not, because obviously like that's a totally different situation. Because like if you're single, you should work anyways because you need money to like pay bills and to eat food. But if you're married, that would have to be like a conversation for you and your husband to have. I think in my situation, if I had student loan debt, Andre would be willing to work hard to pay that off, and he wouldn't want me to work as his wife and baby mama. He would want me to take care of the home and the baby. If you're single, I would just work on really just trying to pay that off, so that by the time you're married, it's significantly less or not as much, so that you can stay home. And this is one of the reasons why I don't really like college, because student loan debt is just, if you can do it without student loan debt, it's a little better, but like if you can help it, don't get into debt, because that is just, especially if you want to be a homemaker, it's not even worth it. Like if you're planning on being a homemaker, you're not even going to use that degree. Like I know this is a little slight rant, but I know some people are like, well, you know, like I learned some stuff, I like did child development, or I learned about nutrition, whatever. It's like, okay, that's nice, and it is maybe nice information, but you don't need that to be a homemaker. Like you can, if you want to learn about nutrition, you can literally go on, there's 50 million different Instagram accounts, 50 million Twitter accounts, 50 million YouTube. You know, you can literally go into Google. There's cookbooks, there's podcasts all about nutrition. There's apps, there's YouTube, like I said, the same exact resources, and also there's just like having a baby, learning about the different stages of child development. What do you need to eat? So the next question is, how do you manage your time with the baby so that you're able to keep up with the house? I just, you know, it just depends on what he needs. Sometimes I'll just let him play while I clean. Sometimes I'll just need to take care of him, and then I have to, you know, clean at a later time. Sometimes I get a little bit like flustered about it because I'm like trying to like get stuff done real quick so that I can just relax with the baby, and then the baby's like, no mommy, I just need you, and then the house is like a mess, and then he's just like clingy. But most of the time it's just not a big deal, and you just do what you can, you know, you don't stress, you just do the most important things, which is making sure that the baby is like okay and alive and has all his needs met. How do you budget for healthy eating? I don't. I just get what we need. Andre does, but you don't really give me like a cap or anything. If he feels like we've been spending too much, he says, we've been spending too much. And then I say, okay. And then that's it. I know that's so unhelpful, but it's the truth. Andre is the one who deals with all our finances, all our bills and stuff like that. And he budgets for everything else really well, so that when it comes to eating, we can spend a lot more money on healthy quality food. So that's the best way that I can tell you that we do it. We want to be able to eat quality food, and that's something that's really important for us. We would rather spend a lot of money on food than, on medicine and medical bills and, being unhealthy down the line. What do you do to recharge when you feel burned out? I'm burned out from cooking. I don't know if I ever feel burned out, but sometimes I literally just don't want to cook. And when that happens, either A, I'll just force myself to because you gotta eat, or B, we'll go out to eat, or we'll go to my parents' house to eat. Otherwise, just changing up your routine or the way you do things, or just setting goals for yourself. More godly advice for girls about to go to college. Don't be stupid. Don't make bad decisions. Don't make bad friends. Don't give in to peer pressure. Use discernment. Don't take what the professors say at face value.
Yeah.
So that is all the questions for today. If you have any more, you can always just put them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye. He was entertained by that. Yeah.